and I assume you know who we are.
10 hot!
I'm putting together a special team. We're gonna be doing one thing and one thing only. Killing Nazis. Sound good?
Yes, sir!
If you've been following this channel for a while, you'd know that Inglourious Basterds is one of my favorite films of all time. I mean, when it comes to Tarantino, there are pretty much no wrong answers when picking your favorite movie. But even after seeing all of his work throughout the years, Basterds still stands out in my opinion. There is so much to like about this film, from the acting, the directing, the cinematography, score, the brutal killings of Nazis. I mean, who doesn't like seeing Nazis getting scalped?
And I want my scalps!
Well, probably Nazis, but who cares what they think? They're Nazis. The one aspect of this film that has stayed with me throughout all these years is how tense it is. Tarantino is able to craft a unique experience for the viewer by creating organic tension between his characters. The entire movie has an uneasy atmosphere that stays with you throughout and long after you've seen the film. And nothing exemplifies this quite like the opening scene. Where most films tend to wait before building a tense moment between its characters, Tarantino hits the ground running with characters we are just introduced to. Tarantino does this by diving so much deeper than what's on the surface. All you really need is a loose understanding of history to know that the Nazi is a bad guy and the man of the family is good. The fact that the Nazi officer is investigating the whereabouts of Jewish people in Nazi-occupied France certainly adds tension, but even if you remove the uniform and subject matter, the results will still be the same. This is established from the film's opening seconds. A beautiful natural landscape accompanied by an adaptation of Beethoven's Für Elise, blended with a spaghetti western theme, creates a scenic yet uneasy atmosphere. And we are then introduced to the greatest villain in cinema history, Colonel Hans Landa, played by the incredible Christoph Waltz.
Merci.
Watching Christoph Waltz play this character is like watching Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel or LeBron dropping 25 straight points against the Pistons in '07. He meticulously takes command of every scene with his sinister charm. From the way he drinks his milk to his absurd pipe and his ability to change languages like changing weapons in GTA, Landa's screen presence is always felt, and along with that comes an uneasiness that can almost be felt. Even the switch from French to English in Landa's conversation with La Petite is masked with the threat of imminent danger.
Well, I'm very familiar with you and your family.
At first I was like, thanks Quentin, I was getting tired of reading, but what we learn is that Landa doesn't want the family hiding under the floorboards to understand their conversation. The decision to switch languages is intentional. Landa already knows that what he's looking to find is already there, and that these prolonged formalities are just part of his twisted game. Tarantino is able to delay the inevitable and prolonging the tension in a way that is stomach-turning. The scene is incredible to watch, but the entire time, as a viewer, you just want it to end. In the midst of their conversation, the camera pans to reveal that there is indeed a family hiding under the floor, and our suspicions have been validated. The stakes have been made clear and the tension is taken to another level. Landa then goes on to talk about his nickname of the Jew Hunter, and how he received the name as a way to gloat to La Petite.
I, on the other hand, love my unofficial title, precisely because I've earned it.
The way Denis Ménochet is able to play off Waltz makes the scene all the better. The camera slowly pans to each man with their nonverbal acting telling the true story of the situation. Landa loses his mask and reveals his evil frown, and La Petite chooses compassion for his family while demonstrating sadness for the people he failed to protect. Landa successfully breaks him down and then seamlessly reverts back to his hauntingly charming couple.
La Petite. Je vous remercie.
He orders his men to massacre the innocent family hiding below. And it is there that we get our first introduction to Shoshana, and a reunion between her and Landa later in the film makes for another equally tense moment. We catch back up with Shoshana 4 years after the massacre of her family, and we are introduced to future film Twitter critic Frederick Zoller. It's their dynamic that leads us into what is another remarkably tense scene. Unlike the opening scene, this time we are familiar with some of the characters in the sequence, giving the viewer an emotional investment that is rooted deeper than just good versus evil. Shoshana is brought face to face with the man who massacred her family, all because Frederick couldn't take a hint. The way the camera lingers on Shoshana while Landa and Zoller are conversing partially off screen sets the tone for what's to follow. Melanie Laurent's nonverbal acting here is remarkable, and this continues throughout the uncomfortable interaction. Waltz gets a lot of praise whenever people discuss his film, and rightfully so, but it's the actors that compliment him in each scene that truly makes this a masterful movie. We again see Landa in his eerily charming persona. His relentless questioning of Shoshana is masked with small talk of cigarettes and strudels, but make no mistake, Hans Landa is still hunting. All outside noise has faded and the focus is solely on their conversation, with the audience hanging on every word. Before leaving, Hans says he has one more question for his victim. The scowl on his face is similar to the look he gives La Petite in the opening scene. He then leaves without asking, and Shoshana has an outburst of emotion, the tension of the exchange finally breaking her. Much like the opening scene, we have little to no development with the characters during the underground bar scene. But right off the bat, it's evident that things aren't going as planned, a basement bar filled with Nazi soldiers. Not ideal if you ask me. Bridget von Hammersmark begins to divulge important information that we don't hear until a little later, but gets interrupted by a drunk Wilhelm, and from there things get, wait for it, tense. Major Hellstrom takes interest in the accent of Lieutenant Hickox, which ignites a small flame to an eventual explosion. It's brilliant writing, in my opinion, something a general audience would never pick up on if not explained. An unusual accent, a peculiar way to show the number 3 on your fingers. Where most writers would just have the good guy slip up or say something wrong due to lack of knowledge, Tarantino takes a more nuanced approach. Fassbender's character is well versed in German cinema, which allows him to escape the major suspicions. He knows the language and knows enough to hold his own in a conversation without being made, but it's the little things that get him in trouble, something only a German can pick up on.
He ordered 3 glasses. We order 3 glasses. That's the German 3.
Much like other exchanges in the film, their conversation starts amicably. There are some laughs and small talk, and then the Major quickly snaps and his inquiries return to a serious nature.
Spaß beiseite, was tun Sie in Frankreich?
They begin to play a game and things start to slowly ramp up, and eventually the mistake is made which blows their cover. And this is all presented brilliantly. Just from the vibe coming off the screen, the audience knows something is wrong, but they don't know how or why. No one says a word, but the Major's aura changes on a dime. Van Hammersmark is visibly uncomfortable, and the 2 German-born members of the Bastards are privy to what just happened as well, while Fassbender and the audience perspective is left out. That's another thing Tarantino does exceptionally well in this film, applying the audience perspective to a certain character when the scene dictates it. We see it with Shoshana earlier in the film, and a few other times when he purposely leaves out subtitles.
Well, if this is it, old boy, I hope you don't mind if I go out speaking to kings.
By all means, Captain.
The scene ends with a standoff between Wilhelm and Aldo, giving us a new perspective on the evil controlling Nazi Germany. To this point, we've gotten ruthless murderers and over-aggressive dudes who can't take a hint, but in this moment, Wilhelm is presented as just a foot soldier and a father caught up in the middle of everything, and Rain uses that to his advantage as a means to de-escalate the situation. While there's so much in this movie to love, I think that these 3 scenes highlight the magnificence of Tarantino's ability to create an unrelenting atmosphere in his films. The way he uses every element of what a film is in unison to create a masterpiece of remarkably tense moment after moment is truly mesmerizing, and is why he's one of the best to ever do it.
You know something, you Rich? I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and of course we would like to thank our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, Nerd Soup wouldn't be Nerd Soup. Seriously, your support is what keeps the fridge full, so thank you once again for your support. If you are interested in supporting Nerd Soup through Patreon, visit our page and check out the different rewards we offer to our fans. If not, then no problem. We appreciate anyone who takes time from their day to watch our videos. So thank you to each and every one of you out there watching, and remember to like and share this video. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like it. Or don't.